Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome fave, with shafafa on the side.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. It is a pre-Labor Day weekend edition from Ten Palms at Gulfstream Park, a Friday fun day at the track. We've got Defo. You got your early bets in?
I had to make a couple of bets at Saratoga. I'm so ice cold, oh, Mayo. I'm 0 for my last 6 sessions. I went 0 for 4 days in a row losing in Las Vegas. Came back, lost 2 days in a row. Yesterday, Frank Miramati, track announcer at Saratoga and Santa Anita, sends me a tip horse at Kentucky Downs. I look at it, I go, morning line, whatever. He was a morning line favorite. He ended up winning. I did like a horse in the previous race, and I recommended to my friend he bet a $20 double. I, of course, pass on that. The double only paid $14.50, but that's still $145 for 20. Of course, I have nothing on it. And that's the way it's been going. So I'm hoping to get off to a better start today.
Let me give you a gambler's tale, and this is why gamblers are a resilient breed, and sometimes we're a little foolhardy.
I love that that's the word you use.
But I am off the schneid. Not when it comes to horses are getting ridiculous, because I told you about the computer wagering is ruining the game. And not only that, but the stewards. I mean, there was a takedown. The horse named Fredo, which Frank Miramati had a great call. Did you see that the other day?
I didn't see it. I saw that Fredo won a race, but
he taken down for doing something in the first turn that had no bearing on the ultimate outcome of the race. Wow. They took him down, but Frank Miramati, your friend, had a great call, because Fredo, who actually raced, I think, down here at one point, Antonio Sano was the trainer. He goes up there. He was at like 13-1. I had some money on him.
Oh, no.
And as they crossed the wire, and he did a beautiful front-running job, and
what was the call?
And Fredo, as he's crossing the wire as a long shot, beating the favorites, he goes, and Fredo broke all their hearts.
Nice. So you know Miramati's not going to
Frankie's been rolling. He's been on an incredible roll.
Horses, I'm like you. I've been just on getting all kinds of horrific beats.
I'm not so cold. I'm just keep losing.
Well, no, and I lost.
I don't know. Is that cold? I guess it is.
I got nosed out of a $1,000 pick 4 in the finale Saratoga last Sunday. That hurt. Yeah. But I am off the schneid in poker. I mean, I know I've been playing a home game.
Oh, you took those
success.
Guys down? Those patsies?
So I've been doing okay in the home game this year. I'm actually showing a net profit. But when it comes to tournament poker, which is one of my favorite hobbies, I didn't realize. I knew it had been a long time, but I looked it up. There's a database that you can look online called the Hendon Mob, and you could actually find your own results.
You don't want to try.
I was going to say that's a thing Andy Man stays away from.
Yeah, you don't want to try this.
No, but I hadn't cashed in a tournament in South Florida in a casino.
How many tournaments?
Since I don't know the number, and I got to go. But I'm thinking it's about.
That's not good.
It was since last December.
Well, I remember that time at Halloween.
So longest in terms of time period drama. Now I have not.
Well, I was going to say, let me ask you, how many tournaments have you played?
I have not been playing as much tournament poker this year, so I'm saying it's probably about 20. I was about 0 for 20 in terms of cashing. I've hit a couple of bubbles where you get knocked out with 2 or 3 before the money.
How many tournaments was it?
No, I'm thinking about 20. I don't know.
Jesus, man.
But it was since
I give you credit, you keep
20?
going. I give you credit, you keep
going. Well, you only got to hit once.
Right. That's the thing about tournament poker.
If you won 10 grand?
No, last night I finished 10th, and I only made $305 on a $150 investment.
That's
I
it?
doubled my money.
You're bragging about that?
No, but what I learned.
But it gets you up to schneid.
I'm bragging about, how it is. If you're a hitter and you're 0 for 18 and you finally hit, then
you get a single right.
You're a shooter. You just want to hit a free throw.
Off the end of the bat, it squibs its way over the second baseman's head, and you're thinking, I got it. So I have a topic for you, too, when you get done with this.
So what I'm saying to you is don't give up. Don't ever give up.
I'm not giving up yet.
Have you met Defo?
I'm 74 years old. What am I going to do?
His mom asked me to give up 50 years ago.
My mother kept looking at me on her deathbed. She's saying, "Are you still gambling?" Like, Mom,
Yes,
man,
Mom,
take
I
your
am.
last breath, enjoy it.
But
come on.
It's funny you should mention that, because I'm wearing a bowling shirt today, and the origin story of this
I
is
thought you were
actually,
moving to Buffalo.
No, this is actually a bowling shirt that we made up here in the press box of Gulfstream Park, going back to the late 90s. So we're going back almost 30 years. But Dave Joseph, who's now
it actually looks good on you.
Yeah, I like the
this-
shirt.
No,
I
because
just
when I
didn't know
came
this
in,
is
I was
County
thinking,
Mayo.
what is it, King Louis Day here
And-
at the track?
a whole
The back,
I'm
you
like,
got to
what is
turn around.
County
'cause,
Mayo?
there was a
yeah.
whole crew of us in the press box that for some reason
It should be Mayo
we-
County, though, not County
So-
Mayo.
But there's a
Well, but
horse
the-
that was called County Mayo, I
County
guess.
Mayo?
So here's the thing. Up front, we had our nice bowling shirts with a nickname on it. My nickname is Oscar for Oscar
You're
Madison.
probably going to have to take the headset
And
off.
then-
I mean, I-
turn
no, no.
around, yeah.
And then in the back,
I don't
all
know
of
if it's
us-
recognizable.
Can't
or
read
not.
it.
all of us
I can do the other camera and
Just
you can
do
go
the whole
behind
show.
you
Turn
and-
around.
Okay.
Turn around the chair.
the horse's ass.
See if you can do it. Yeah.
No, all of us came up with a name of a horse that we wanted to put on the
County
back.
Mayo?
And there was actually a horse in the late 90s called County Mayo. And
You
of
couldn't
course,
use Tar Wedrop, my favorite horse at Calder.
My
back
name
in
is
the,
Mayo.
His name's Mayo.
And
Oh, okay.
County Mayo
That's
was
an
a
easy
horse.
There's a lot
that-
of Mayo going around.
Yeah, but the bottom line, it was a whole bunch of us in the press box. Roy Slanoff, Frank Carlson,
great
rest
Roy
in peace. Roy, rest in peace.
Wow.
Frank
I can't believe
Carlson,
Roy
rest
checked
in
out, man. I
peace.
used to love that guy.
Dave Joseph, Ron Nicoletti has one of those shirts.
Oh,
but
I
a
thought you were
guy,
going to say he checked
a
out. No,
guy
he's good.
named
he's-
Jack Wilson from the racing forum, his wife was
I remember
a
this man. Yeah.
embroiderer and sewed these shirts for all of us, and they're very
No,
high
no,
quality.
very nice. Yeah, no, it's a good
And
bowling shirt.
We never
That's
actually.
You know,
went-
who's a great bowler? Lubie.
I am a good bowler.
Lubie, and I aspire to be a pro bowler.
Defo
at one
was a good
time.
bowler, too.
Yeah, I really
I'm a
wanted to be
lefty.
pro.
Do you bowl?
I'm a lefty
We
with
should
a
bowl.
hook.
How we never
I
bowled?
get nothing but
Oh
better
man,
good
who was
balls.
that guy? Dick Allen, man, and then of course Earl Anthony.
I got
Great
to
left-handed
I
bowler.
got to start all my balls on the left side, and then
Did
it
you go
goes
all the way?
all the way
Careful how
to
you
the
say
right.
that. Yeah, yeah.
And
The lefties always had the big hook.
Yeah.
but we never actually went bowling with these shirts, but we would wear these shirts when we went to
That's
play.
great. You got a bowling
I
shirt.
love
You
that.
never bowling.
We went to play whirly ball. Do you remember whirly
I do
ball?
remember that. It was ill-fated,
Not my time.
short-lived craze.
There was a couple of whirly
You were probably
ball
very
courts.
violent as a whirly ball player.
It was great. It was a combination
Yeah.
of bumper cars, high line,
And dodgeball.
basketball, dodgeball. Like you would whip this little wiffle ball with a
It was a
cesta.
stupid game. It was popular for a while. Yeah.
It was great. How
People
can you call
loved
it a
it. Yeah,
stupid game? And
It was a
Sounds
stupid
good.
game. It's like pickleball. It will eventually
it
die
actually
out,
was
yeah.
a stupid game because that's how I met my first wife. My
Oh,
wife.
yeah, there you go.
Your first wife seems like a very nice
No,
lady. I mean,
Michelle
she
is.
still
And
has
she gave you
respect for you,
Ms.
which is
Natalia,
amazing.
which is great.
All right, I got a food topic.
Okay,
you
let's
ready
go
for it,
for
Mike
it.
Mayo?
Yeah, let's
no,
do
this
it.
is interesting because it hit me yesterday, and I really hadn't been startled by this reality. And I saw a story on Channel 10, I believe it was, watching Channel 10 News in the morning. And they were talking about how these restaurants are closing in Miami. There are a bunch of restaurants that are going out of business because of tariffs. And I was thinking,
they're
well, I
openly saying
mean,
that.
as if there weren't enough problems, with insurance and this and that, and the cost of rent and the leases, cost of food going up. But apparently, I guess the tariffs are impacting restaurants. I didn't realize to what extent. So, you shrug your shoulders at these stories because they don't directly impact you unless it was a place that you were, in
You
favor
love
of going to, which I'm not driving down to Miami. These are Miami restaurants. And then I go yesterday to my place, Meals for Dogs, pick up a 6-pack of dog food for Skippy and Holly. And usually the 6-pack is $1.12. Okay. It's like 6 pounds of dog food,
Oh, nice. Okay.
$112. It seems expensive, but it's not really
But
all
it's-
that expensive.
It's
when
keeping
you
them
really break
alive.
it down.
I mean,
Well, I mean, look, Skippy's 17. He's still going.
How long
So-
does that last? That bag?
No, that'll last a while. I
Okay.
mean, look, I mean, if you were buying a can of dog food for $2, so you might be spending 3 or 4 for this, but for the difference in quality and
That's not that big
the
of a-
savings in vet bills and all the other stuff,
it works.
well worth every penny that you spend on this.
Mhm.
You could probably make it yourself, but we're not inclined to do that. So, and I like supporting local businesses, and I really appreciate these guys. So yesterday I bought a 6-pack. I'm expecting to whip out the usual $1.12, so I got $1.20 in cash,
Mhm.
and the guy says it's $1.25.
Oh,
Okay.
jeez.
I said, wow,
10% increase.
and I really
That's
hate
a nice
doing this.
chunk.
I mean, you hate saying, what happened? Did the
No.
prices go up? I mean, this is like your big,
But that's a nice chunk.
let's eat South
It's
Florida.
a 10% increase.
Yeah. That's a nice chunk.
And the guy, he says that it was only on this particular variety of the dog food that I buy, which they have others.
Is it imported? Are there products that are?
I guess it must be. And he said, and he broke out a chart because,
People have been asking.
because I mean, he was going to explain it to me. I said, no, it's perfectly okay. He said, it's all due to tariffs.
Oh my
And
God.
I'm thinking, holy crap. I mean, how impactful is this on the food industry, Mayo? Have you been studying this? Because they literally said that like they had 2 or 3 restaurateurs in Miami that went out of business or closing up, longtime restaurants, because they can't deal with the tariff action.
Well, again, it's one of the things that are putting pressure on restaurants and consumers.
As if
and
they don't
everybody.
have enough. Yeah.
Well, as you mentioned, it's a multifaceted storm that is hitting the restaurant industry now.
Yep.
It's not just the tariffs, although that is now a new factor, which depending on what food you're serving and if it is imported, coffee prices have been going up because of tariffs, and also because there's been a drought in some of the major coffee producing country. Coffee, I'm talking like a Brooklyn boy.
But the Brazil, the Brazil stuff is directly tariffs, and we get a lot of coffee.
Must have had to do with beef or the ingredients.
Well, the beef, remember, is jacked up.
Beef is also now,
but he said it was directly due to tariffs, and it only affected this particular food that they have different,
you're talking about the dog food place.
Right.
Because Channel 10, I'm sorry.
Channel 10 was talking about some pizza place in Miami and another place.
The other drivers of, problems for restaurants are insurance costs, liability insurance, and property insurance. CAMS is what people who are renters and paying money to landlords, besides paying rent, they also have to pay what's known as the common area maintenance, and that includes things for the hurricane insurance. That has been going up big, but of course, our governor is more concerned about rainbow color.
How sick is that? Though? I mean,
we don't want to get overly.
I know you don't want to get political, but listen, that thing with the plunge in what was that, Orlando? Where
the Pulse.
Oh yeah, the Pulse. Yeah.
Look,
to paint over that, to go out of your way.
People died.
It's one thing. I mean, you're looking at. I look at all of this stuff that's going on, and I'm thinking about. Geez, I mean, instead of rounding up the homeless, I watched a couple of cops that looked like they were rousting some homeless guy today near the beach on my walk of life, and I'm thinking, I hope they're lending this guy a helping hand. Instead of rounding these guys up and throwing them in jail and doing things to them, shouldn't they be spending this money on maybe helping these people?
Well, would
that not be? I mean, how could you be proud of rousting some homeless guy? Or some poor homeless woman and throwing them in jail and then painting over because you don't like a rainbow crosswalk? Get out of here.
For people who talk about not liking cancel culture, they sure do like canceling things. But anyway, let's not get into the.
But that one on the Pulse was a memorial. I mean, it's like you're painting over a memorial to 49 people that lost their lives.
And it was unnecessary
event.
Well, what's interesting is we try to be apolitical here. But we've gone to restaurants where we don't know who they support, or even if we do know who they support, we stay away from it. But we haven't brought it up. The restaurateurs have brought up, they don't use the word tariff because they try themselves, but they're like, what's going on? That's what when they say what's going on, they mean tariffs. And they've said, yes, they've had to, especially with the meat price. Look at the meat prices.
It's affecting dog food, for God's sake.
It's affecting a lot of things.
So there's multi-parts to this. So like beef prices, they're going up big time. It's not just because of tariffs, but it's because of tariffs. Like there's less foreign beef being imported to this country now because the producers don't want to sell here anymore. They'd rather go places where they're more free to sell their products.
Yes.
That means it's basic economics, supply and demand. It means there's more demand for domestic beef.
Yeah.
And that means that the price of the domestic beef is going to go up, especially because the cattle herds they're also fewer being in production because of drought, because of the conditions
climate
to
change,
raise them.
Which they won't talk about that either.
And
so can we expect more closures? I mean,
you can expect to pay more for your dog food. You can
I know, I did. I mean, and the guy said, look, you can get it with pork or whatever. I'm like, no, I've been feeding these dogs the same stuff for like 10 years.
Now, when it comes to these closure stories, it's true that restaurants have been closing, but what media often lacks, and they always like to look for common themes and trends, and now it's like, oh, it's the tariffs. It's a multitude of things. Restaurants have always closed. It was back after 9/11. Nobody was traveling, and so restaurants closed. It was the economic and housing meltdown of the Great Recession of 2008, 2009. Things always happen.
Yeah.
And then it was COVID. And then the restaurant business is resilient. And the context is, yes, there are a lot of restaurants, particularly in Miami, that have been closing now. How many are opening? And it seems like a lot of restaurants are still opening. So what we need is a macro picture of how many are
what's
opening,
going out,
how many are closing, and people can feel it too, because if you see a long-time place that you loved is out of business, and then it sits empty for 6 years, then you know that is something going
Grill,
on.
Man. I still don't get that one.
Great,
I think that's a great location there around Commercial and and Federal Highway. How's that place been empty for like 15 years?
Because
20?
every landlord has their own particular interest,
but it hasn't developed into anything else.
But they're sitting. Some people can afford to sit on something as a tax write-off,
I guess.
And so let's take the case of and Pat's open.
I'm going to say Pat.
Shenanigans. Look, he operated his original location across from TY Park.
Wow.
His landlord wanted to raise the rent from $18,000 a year to $25,000 for a new long-term lease.
A year or a month?
For a month.
A month.
Yeah. And then, so you do the math on that. That's $7,000. That's almost a 50% increase going into the first year
that was a classic
of a lease.
We've been there forever.
And then he also wanted other things because Pat wanted the ability to maybe be able to sell that location to another operator. And the guy said, if you sell to somebody and he wanted personal guarantees. And this is something that's also happening now at a place in Weston called Lucille's American Grill, which has been there a long time. And their last day of service is going to be this Sunday because it was the same situation. A landlord wanted to hike the rent very big and then also put the screws on the renter and saying, oh, if you bail out on this lease, then you have to personally, you can't just attribute it to your LLC. You are personally responsible for the remainder of the rent, which means, their house, their homesteaded property could be at risk when these landlords want personal guarantees. There's all these things that go on. And then in the case of Shenanigans, the guy drove Pat out of there. I thought the guy had somebody lined up to take it over.
Still empty.
And it's been sitting empty for going on 3 years. And let's just say he got Pat to resign at $20,000 a year. That's 36 at 20. You do the math. That's $720,000.
People rent an apartment. I had a landlord that I was renting a few years back, and the guy, he was going to raise the rent a couple of $100, and we were like opposed to it, of course. And I'm thinking, well, if this place sits empty for a month, you
lose your money.
You end up losing. I mean, you're losing at a rate that is far exceeding what I would have to pay. So why would you want it empty? And of course, the place went empty for a long period of time.
But everybody has different motivations. No. For some of these landlords, they have a lot of different land and properties. And then if they have a couple that are sitting and not producing, they use that as a tax write-off. Some of them, eventually, they're going to plow it under and redevelop it. And they want more of their tenants to leave so that there's fewer to kick out.
Lose tenants, which is the weirdest thing.
I never thought I'd see tariffs affect dog food, though. I really didn't. That was kind of a shock. And not that I mind paying. I love these guys. I think they do a great job. It's really how many times have I recommended this business meals for dogs? It only affected, like I said, this one product, the guy said. But he actually, I must be like a zillion complaints.
Oh, no, for sure.
Because he had a whole big thing. He broke out a sheet explaining it to me. I was like, I don't need that. I'll gladly pay the money. But I was just kind of surprised.
Look, it's why and again, we try to stay away from politics. The problem is, and Ken and I talk about this, every part of life is politics nowadays. Like, you can turn around. I don't deal with politics.
Well, the problem is
you don't like prices going up, right? Well, that's politics. It's all politics.
Some people have politicized every part of life, including science and weather and health,
which are things we just all agreed on at one point.
And I don't know what the answer is except to keep eating. And
that's what we do.
You're doing a good job on that, Mike Mayo. I'm scarfing out here too. I got to say, I had two of the best leftovers in my fridge today. I had half a hamburger left over from Gilbert's, which I ate on the way down here.
Nice.
Out of a bowl while I was driving. Fantastic. And I had, I've been milking for 4 days now, a tuna sub with everything from Las Patas that was brought home to me.
When you get a full one, they are mammoth.
I mean, I've been eating it for 4 days, and I still have some left. And I'm looking forward to the next time I scarf into it. But there's nothing like great leftovers in the fridge.
We've done some good eating this week.
You still have that deal working with Tanazzini with the lasagna?
No, I have no deals.
You had a thing where you were supposed to get a tray of the lasagna every month for the car.
No.
You were joking about that?
Yeah, but with anytime I want to order one, I can get one from him. But I just haven't. We've been so busy, and Val and I were going away this weekend to North Carolina to Asheville, which is a real good foodie town. So I'm looking forward to that. Not necessarily looking forward to the flight on Allegiant Air tonight.
Allegiant Air is okay, man.
Supposedly it's not bad.
We'll see if we get off the ground.
Allegiant Air, the best thing about Allegiant Air is they fly directly, which I'll be taking an Allegiant flight in October up to Keeneland, but they fly directly to Lexington. And they're, I think, the only guys that do that.
Yeah, no, and they're the only ones.
That's with Asheville.
The only ones that go nonstop.
And it's absolutely dirt cheap. I mean,
Yeah.
Now, the fact that it's so funny because I was with two guys at Keeneland, my friend Jersey Kyle and Evan. Don't mention my name. Both of those guys are afraid to fly. They're very reluctant. Evan is paranoid as all hell, and Jersey doesn't like to fly either. So we fly Allegiant there, which was the only way to get there. And now we're about to fly back on a Sunday night. And on 60 Minutes that night,
oh God,
they have a feature about how Allegiant Air is about to drop a plane into a lake somewhere.
Oh God.
And so now these guys are deciding whether or not to rent a car to drive back or take Allegiant. I said, I'm going on a plane. I don't care what you guys do. You want to drive back, fine. It ended up being fine. So
Yeah.
Well,
I think it'll be all right.
we're going to cross our fingers tonight. Let's take the first break.
Let's
Before
do
we
it.
do, Dine Out Lauderdale
Yeah.
is the way to check out
Got it in mind.
restaurants and forget about the tariffs and the high labor costs and the high
On dog
insurance
food.
Well,
costs.
that's helped you fight that, actually.
on dog food.
And this is the time of year when the restaurants want to get people in the door because it is, the
Slower
leaner
period.
time of the year.
Although
And-
we're right
and
around the corner from the season.
Yeah.
Exactly.
right
This
now,
like kickstarts it.
through September 30th, as a way of showing appreciation to the locals,
Yep.
more than 140 local restaurants are taking part in the Dine Out Lauderdale promotion. And it's multiple course meals at some great places like Cafe Max, where we visited.
Max
Yep,
is
they had a great
man.
time.
You know what? Every time I go by there, I think I love that place. I really do. Daryl and Oliver are the best.
Yeah, and Daniel's Florida Steakhouse when we had
Fantastic
a great
Drove
meal.
by there yesterday. on my way
And they
home.
have also
Fantastic
the
place.
D's Sports Bar with college football coming up. They can get some really good Dine Out Lauderdale deals. You can check out all the deals near you because it's all throughout Broward County, the greater Fort Lauderdale area. You got places that are nice resort restaurants along the beach like Evelyn's and Moss. You've got places that are neighborhood joints like Cookin' the Cork up in Coral Springs.
Yep.
Go online to dineoutlauderdale.com or visit lauderdale.com/dineout to check out the great deals around you today. Again, now through September 30th, going on dineoutlauderdale.com.
You know what's lucky, Mailman? I had this observation yesterday coming back from Gilbert's. I had to go on Federal Highway. I usually go by the beach. And I passed by Daniel's, which I know you're really high on. I haven't had a chance to get in there yet. But and they took over from
Well,
It was Ernie, not Ernie's.
No, it was at one point. It was my friend, Giovanni had Valentino, and then it became Canyon.
the Canyon.
Canyon,
Yeah.
Canyon.
And everybody loved Canyon. And I passed by Juan's. I
Yep.
passed by, Shuck and
Batch is
Dive.
there, Shuck and Dive is there. Yep.
How many
Taco
zillion
Craft?
restaurants we went by? I ended up going by,
Batch.
I like a
Some
zillion
are
places
legit
that are
solid
all
Right.
great.
Friends of the Lunchbox sponsors.
Casa D'Angelo.
Casa D'Angelo, great
I mean,
sponsor,
wow.
and they are also
Just
taking part
tremendous,
in
yeah.
Dine Out.
I love that they're all a part of Dine Out. Like they all
And-
appreciate it, they embrace it, and they give ridiculous deals.
Yeah,
How
so
great is that?
go
I mean,
check it out today. A lot of these places are even having it, 7
On
days,
the weekends, yeah,
no
yeah.
exclusions on the weekends. So again, check it out today, dineoutlauderdale.com. All right, let's take the first break. Joe Beja is back.
Yes, he is.
Is he
He
here?
was
Where is he?
gone for a few weeks. He was vacationing with his daughter in California.
Looked
Then he was
spectacular. his
dropping
vacation.
Yeah,
her
his Cali
in
trip was great.
Tallahassee, and now he is back in town, gearing up for the fall season.
Yeah,
There's going to be another taste of the track next month, bourbon and barbecue,
Yeah,
which we'll
Professor
talk about
Brown.
with him,
nice.
and we'll also do a contest after these words.
Hey Lunchbox fans, is it time to sell your business? You've poured your heart and soul into your restaurant or business, and you want to see continue the legacy you have built. Transworld can help. Call me, Andy Cagnetta, at Transworld Business Advisors right now and see if it's time for you to retire and relax. Iconic brands like the Mai Kai, Mulligan's, Carlos and Pepe's, Mangoes, and many more turn to Transworld to help sell. Contact Transworld on Facebook or call 954-772-1122 or visit tworld.com. Again, that's 954-772-1122 or tworld.com.
When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks. They're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Guess who's back and better than ever? Juan's. For the best in classic old school Chinese cuisine, a family-run South Florida favorite since 1966. It's at 664 North Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale, open every day but Tuesday for lunch and dinner. Chef Alex is carrying on the family tradition that started 4 generations ago. It used to be known as Christina Wan's Mandarin House, and you're going to love it as Wan's. They've got all your favorites: wonton soup, spare ribs, egg rolls, dumplings, Peking duck, and more. Combo lunch specials daily and takeout and delivery. For more information, go to their Instagram page at wans.fl. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Now we're all right. Okay. I didn't hear myself.
I don't remember which one it was.
Okay. Thank you, Lubie. We are back on the Lunchbox. It is Labor Day weekend, and we appreciate everybody's efforts, especially Lubie. He schleps the board around.
Lubie is one of the hardest working sons of the guns I've ever met in my life.
I've had jobs that were
How
hard.
many years, Lubie, have we been doing this? 15 16
years.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't like that term because I would use the term active because I watch people that work hard. So when they're doing the grass
to do it.
and they're doing the trees and it's hot as hell, and I'm like, no, I like what I do. I appreciate what you do, and I like what I do.
People who are outside in this weather,
it's 150 degrees,
laying down new roofs,
the
trimming
roofing
trees.
people. Oh my God.
Hopefully they're paid well.
I hope they can make good money.
Yeah.
They've earned it. What we do, we get out there, we're active, and I appreciate the sentiment. But watching what some people have to put up with,
I contemplate every Labor Day.
Yeah,
how blessed I've been because I've been, I've been in lines of work that
people dream to do.
Incredibly fun and creative, and I get to eat now. Before with the newspapers, I was a sports writer. I get to travel the world and witness all these great events.
You were in the heyday of newspapers.
Oh yeah, it was the golden time. Atlanta Journal Constitution ceasing
Went
publication.
That's crazy.
Yeah. They're going digital only.
I know, but
they
that's
still
a big
have a staff.
paper. That's a big paper.
My friend Al Winters lives in Atlanta.
That was the mouth of the South for a long time. Louis Grizzard was a famous columnist there, and all kinds.
What is it? WSB? Is that the thing in Atlanta? The big station, WSB.
I don't know.
Oh, good. I don't know Atlanta that well.
Chuck
Dowdle ended
the Cox
up going there.
sisters,
the old, Channel 10 guy.
Neil Rogers used to love to rag on the Cox sisters, but Cox Communications still owns the Atlanta Journal Constitution.
Oh, yeah? Wow. For that place to go out of business,
and they not out of business.
They're just not doing.
They are transitioning.
Paper, right?
They are no longer. They've realized that the days of having these big printing presses produce reams of newsprint and then dropping them off and putting them in trucks and putting them on people's lawns is not the efficient way of
I gotta
getting
say
news.
this though.
Nobody does it anymore except you.
Well, I mean, remember my complaint about the New York Post, and I
now
ended
they're
up
on it.
ending a 20-year subscription over poor delivery. So I take the 10-week offer for $10. Just figure I'll give it a shot. If it works, maybe I'll get back into it. I missed the paper the first 3 days, no delivery whatsoever. I'm ready. I'm going nuts, thinking, why did I give myself this aggravation? Since that day, Mayo, the most pristine service I've ever experienced in my life.
Yeah, because they looked at the books and they realized you account for a whole 10% of their revenue.
I don't think my one subscription,
even the $10 revenue. It's like,
but I will keep going with this. I mean, I'm amazed, and I have to say, I know you're like, oh well, going to join the modern era. There is nothing better than having that thing on the throne in the morning. I get more out of it than any other thing that I possibly could, and I really hate reading stuff off the phone.
I appreciate the printed paper. I still get a paper delivered on Sunday. I still enjoy reading the physical paper.
I love being able to thumb through it, come back to it later.
But the reality is we all have to brace ourselves for the day is coming where there will be no longer printed newspapers. And
but optometrists are going to benefit. I mean, because you're going to go blind to everybody.
So we've got Atlanta Journal-Constitution announced that they are ceasing the print publication. New Orleans Times-Picayune already did that.
Those are two really big
Newark
papers.
Star-Ledger and the
Jesus.
Advanced Newspapers of New Jersey stopped printing papers, I think, earlier last year.
I never liked the Newark Star-Ledger. I'll tell you why.
They were a good paper. Jerry Eisenberg, great.
Jerry Eisenberg was great.
great.
And Hank's father, Hank Goldberg's father, worked there. Hi, Goldberg.
So I didn't
But the layout was horrible.
Okay.
You were familiar with this. No, but it was all like...
I almost took a job at the
The
Star-Ledger.
columns were always like it was just weirdly printed.
I interviewed there,
Yeah.
and
it probably was a good place to work. But,
and then
I mean, with sports, those are all papers that I grew up reading different reporters and writers from those papers.
Sun Sentinel was always a well laid out newspaper.
Oh yeah, the Herald's a good paper. Yeah.
The Herald's okay. I mean, the Sun Sentinel had a good layout. People.
No,
Was Bonnie responsible for the layout?
She was not, but
No?
there was a bunch of good design and production people there, and it was always a very attractive paper to read. But what I'm saying is prepare for the day. But I'm gonna miss it.
Yeah.
I'm like you because I used to bleed newsprint.
Yeah.
And
I have some of my fans
the
right
thing
now.
about newspapers, they are the first drafts of history, and it's really a thrill. Like Val recently was cleaning out some stuff from her dad's house and found this bin of newspapers from when the U.S., when basically VE Day and VJ Day from World War II.
Oh my God.
And it's funny seeing the differences in language because they would refer to and the U.S. have beat the Japs. It's like
straight up.
Oh
like,
yeah, I mean the
talk
newspaper lingo back in the day, not the
Japs
most
lose.
Yeah.
like the
On
headline.
ninth inning error. Yeah.
Right. So, but again, and I found something when I was cleaning out boxes that my brother brought down from my parents' house in Brooklyn. Something from the day that Kennedy was assassinated.
Wow.
The moon landing.
You weren't alive then, were you?
No, but the moon landing in
was.
'69. They have the front page of the New York Times from the day of the moon landing, and the front page, tragically, of the New York Times from September 11th, 2001, which I can't believe we're coming up on 24 years. And again, when you see that in black and white and you pick it up, it gives you that kind of the weight of history. So that will be missed.
Well, it's a big difference. I mean, one thing I loved about transitioning into electronic media, nobody remembered what you said. So if somebody said, "Hey, you called me an asshole," and you're
something I'm learning every day now. It's great.
And you're in print there. I mean,
you would slave over.
I loved writing for newspapers.
You saw me the week that I was trying to get this freelance piece put to bed about the Michelin stars.
It's too hard to write.
And I was grumpy because I am like trying to draft 2,200 words in a way that's coherent and organized, logical, and persuasive. And we're here. I could just let it fly for 5 minutes, and hopefully you make some points that maybe stick. But it's a different kettle of fish.
Nobody remembers what you said. I mean, it's nice if people do. But when it was in print, it had more impact. That's for sure.
That's true. Nobody remembers. Like, remember when they said the tariffs will be paid by the country that we imposed the tariffs on? Not the people buying the dog food.
Mayo on dog food.
I went back to
I had to pay more for dog food yesterday.
Hey, so, and I was also thinking Labor Day, like, what you've talked about this, but what is the most bizarre or worst job you had? And I don't know if the cough factory would qualify, or is that like
factory was it wasn't the worst job because I got a lot of comedy out of it. Worst job I ever had. Wow. I tell you, it was a one-day job, a one-day shape-up labor job. My buddy and I had moved out to California. Just moved there after being in school. Went around New York for a while looking for jobs. We decided, hey, you know what? Screw this. We're going to sell everything, go to California. We go out there. We didn't have any money left, so we had to work for a day. Otherwise, we weren't going to eat. And we lined up at this job site where they send you wherever they want to go. They go, we need 2 guys to go out to this junkyard and work all day. We said, okay. And I never in my life worked so hard.
Jesus.
My friend and I, a guy
physical
named Jeff
labor
Frost,
sucks.
Physical labor. I mean, we are moving anvils. We are moving automotive engines. And the guy that we worked for was very nice. I don't remember how little money we made, but it was enough to go get some.
They shouldn't hire Jews to do that work because all I can see is
we were happy to do
lifting an anvil, going, "Oh, my back."
No, but I was young. I mean, I still could do this stuff, but
I could never do it.
But we were so happy to have some money, and I remember we went to Ralph's supermarket, and we bought a jar of ragu spaghetti sauce and a long thing of Italian bread.
Right.
And we ate that, and
Like
it was like
the peasants and blue collar
Oh,
workers
my
that you
God.
were. Yeah, it was great.
It was like the guys on the roof in Shawshank when they got the beer.
Yes, it was the
Timothy
greatest beer
Robbins.
ever.
I mean, and you were like, "Oh my God, I never was in such heaven." But
Lubie, what
that was the hardest day's work I've ever
about
done.
you? Did you
I've
have
had
any
a lot of-
bizarre jobs or what's
Bizarre.
your
I've
worst?
had a lot of jobs I didn't enjoy. The only time I did anything really manual labor was when we started early radio days. My brother-in-law owned a garage door company, and I would help him do garage doors. That was a pain in the ass. Like I literally would be like, how do people do this as their own? I knew I had other things doing.
Real work is hard to do.
No, that's why again, like I call this work. Everyone gets disillusioned with every job. I've told people that when people are like, oh my God, what you do is so amazing. I'm like, I love it. But even I, from time to time, we love our breaks, we love our vacations. But I remind myself of those jobs because I had like doing that. I did a few garage doors with him, and I was like, "Oh my God, how the hell do you do this every hours?" And you're sweating, and it doesn't matter. And the people are never appreciative. They're always,
No.
You're never doing it quick enough. You're never doing it right. There was always a complaint after all of it, and I was like, "Oh my God, dude!" And it was nice to all of them.
And
I'm
then they
like,
don't want to pay you.
I'm like, "How do you?" And they would always haggle. I'm like, "This isn't the swap shop. Like we had a price. Like that was one of the hardest jobs I've ever had, and it made me appreciate everything we've done in the last 15, 20 years.
It's funny because among the earliest jobs I had, and when I was 8 or 9, I wanted to start making my own money. And the first things I did is I did a newspaper route delivery in the afternoon, New York Post, with a friend of mine. And that was
so you were responsible for the shoddy.
Yeah. And
You were the
physically going
foundational
around
guy, yeah.
wrapping the papers up, and then you'd have to toss them up on the
Newspaper
stoops.
route was a great job.
And
for a
then
kid.
the other one was during snowstorms in New York.
Oh, God,
I would
shoveling
go
snow,
around.
shovel?
Me and a couple of friends would shovel
I mean,
snow.
I guess as a kid,
And that was backbreaking. And that is
But
when
it was fun as a kid.
as a fun because hey, I'll shovel in
Mowing
your
lawns,
yard for
shoveling
$10. And at the end of the day, after a big snowstorm, I'd have $100 in my pocket, which back in the early, mid
for a kid,
'70s was
that's money.
that was good money.
Yeah.
But then I realized early on that there are two types of people in the world: blue collar laborers and white collar. And I am strictly white collar because even at 10, I was going, "Oh, my back."
But I mean, none of the equipment's so sophisticated. I mean, it's so funny.
you probably
'cause
just drive a
you used to have the
backhoe.
little
Yeah.
kid with the hand mower with no power to it.
That's cheating.
And now, like the guy, it looks like they're unloading equipment in Iraq. To go fight.
But I do
you know.
appreciate everybody in the restaurant business. One of the jobs I had in
Working in a
college,
restaurant's a pain in the ass.
I
Was a
didn't
tough
work
job.
very often. I wasn't a waiter, but I did work at this kosher deli that opened in Harvard Square. One of the co-owners was Alan Dershowitz, where he
Which is still
Dershowitz,
crazy.
wow.
that you
Dershowitz, but
Dershowitz.
He knows
he-
who's on the
but it
list.
was called
He
Maven's
definitely does.
Maven's Kosher Court because Dershowitz was a law professor.
Yeah.
Son,
Yeah, it makes sense.
and there was some other backers, but I started off as a counter guy, and I would make the sandwiches. And I'll never forget. It was opening night. It was hectic, and I was slicing somebody's turkey sandwich, and I sliced the tip of my thumb right off.
But you're inclined to
And
that,
I'll never forget. The woman just was like, "Don't bleed on my sandwich."
There you go.
And
I-
I still came back to work, but what soured me on that job, and it's very difficult, it's hard being in the service industry, but at the same time, I was doing some interning at the Boston Globe sports department, and I would get calls occasionally to do freelance pieces. And one day a call came into the restaurant, but it didn't get relayed to me. The Washington Post was looking for somebody to
looking
be
for
a
some-
stringer
Oh,
for a
man.
Boston Red Sox Yankees
Oh,
key
wow.
pennant race
Wow.
game. And somebody at the Globe referred me, and I lost my big chance to do some stuff for the
It
Washington
happens,
Post,
yeah.
and I quit. I was like, "That's it. I got to be available."
I
full-time."
enjoyed
Hey.
being a waiter. I really did. I was a waiter in many restaurants, and I really liked it.
Yeah. Speaking of service industry,
Joe
hospitality
Beja, man.
giant
Yeah, let's bring him
Joe
in.
Beja, a executive director of hospitality here at Gulfstream
Why don't
Park.
you take a break?
He's
and
waiting
we'll
in the
bring
We
him
can
wings.
do a
in.
break.
Good idea. Let's take our second
I
break.
don't mean to
Before we
direct the show
do,
here, but
No, that's a good idea.
Casa D'Angelo, one of our great sponsors, they
Nice.
are taking part in Dine Out. They also have some great wine dinners on tap, and they are just a great place to go for a special occasion or any occasion like celebrating a long holiday weekend. They've got 3 locations, flagship in Fort Lauderdale downtown on Federal Highway. They also have Boca Raton and Aventura just south of the track here. Open 7 days, all 3 locations. We love Casa D'Angelo. For information about their upcoming events and reservations, go online to casa-d-angelo.com. All right, let's take the second break, and we'll be rejoined by the long-lost Joe Beja back from his vacations, and we can't wait to hear about his adventures and also what's coming up here at Ten Palms and Gulfstream after these words. The finest quality, warm hospitality, and world-class creativity. Those are the ingredients that make Daniel's, a Florida steakhouse, a special place. Come experience the restaurant that's Michelin Guide recommended and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved, with an impressive collection of steaks, seafood, and more, like their foie gras creme brulee. Daniel's is located at 620 South Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale, just south of the New River Tunnel, open Tuesday through Sunday for dinner. For reservations and information, go to danielssteak.com. Fresh local fish, a sophisticated setting. I'm talking about Corvina Seafood Grill. It's at 110 Plaza Real South in Boca Raton, just south of Palmetto Park Road. It's the place to go for the freshest and local seafood and fish, some of it with a Peruvian twist like their great ceviches. It's open 7 days for dinner. They also have happy hours 7 days a week. You don't want to miss it. It's a great place. CorvinaBocaRaton.com for more information and reservations. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Same great Thai food, beautiful new location. I'm talking about Eat Thai, now in Boca Raton at 6299 North Federal Highway. Thai cuisine is having a moment, and Chef Sopanut makes some of the best in South Florida. A hip and modern spot with authentic Thai street food and some innovative twists. The spicy oxtail soup, Thai bouillabaisse, shrimp ceviche, and classic noodle dishes will wow you. And they now offer full liquor and craft cocktails too. Open every day but Tuesday for lunch and dinner. Go to eatthaiflorida.com for more information. A tradition for South Florida sports fans for more than 30 years. Shenanigans. It's at 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach, the place to go for all your favorite teams and events and food that's not your ordinary sports bar fare. Award-winning wings, burgers, fresh fish, and more, TV screens galore, and all-day happy hour specials. The kitchen and bar are open into the wee hours, perfect for late-night bites and very close to the airport. For playoff action, football season, and a good time anytime, Shenanigans. Great seafood and more at Mignonette, Miami. It's in the Edgewater neighborhood at 210 Northeast 18th Street, close to the Arch Center and Heat Arena. Mignonette is open every day for dinner, and it serves the freshest fish and raw bar items with a daily selection of the finest oysters around. Chef owner Danny Surfer and his team are eager to please, and now they have a great deal for Miami Spice through September 30th. $60 gets you a build-it-yourself 3-course meal. Choose almost any appetizer and entree and any dessert. That's every day, including weekends. Mignonette is Michelin Guide recommended and Lunchbox approved. For reservations and information, go to mignonnettemiami.com. All right, we're back on the Lunchbox, and look who is joining us. Joe Beja, back
Mr. Left
better
Coast,
than
man.
ever. How is your trips, and how are you doing?
It was great. Great. Did an annual father-daughter trip that I always do with Sydney, and we did she wanted to do the West Coast. She had never been to the West Coast.
Oh, wow.
So
She'd never been to LA.
Never. So we did LA, Hollywood, and San Diego.
My daughter loves it there. She wanted to go back, and I was like, no, we just did that last trip, you know, and so we ended up doing San Francisco North up the coast of Portland. But you did the whole
you drive
SoCal.
because you got around.
Oh,
I
did
rented
it
the
all.
car
Okay.
from LA, Hollywood down to Anaheim, which I actually didn't need in Anaheim just to get there because we were walking.
Yeah.
The hotel was walking distance at Disneyland.
No, Jason.
And then, which was great. You know,
Yeah,
it was a basic element like by West End, but it had a little kitchenette area
Nice.
and upgraded to a room that had a view of the park. So we saw the fireworks at night when we
Nice.
weren't at the
Oh,
park
from your bank.
from the room, which was
And
cool.
you made it down to
And
San
then San
Diego and
Yep.
Del Mar. So
Yep,
you
and
got
so-
a little
I heard it's
horse racing
beautiful
in.
there. I've been to LA. I've never
Yes.
been to San Diego. I heard it's fantastic.
To me, that's the best part of the trip, especially when we spent a few hours, 2 different days down out at Coronado. And to me, Coronado is just gorgeous. I didn't make it out to the Top Gun naval base at the very, very end of it, but still just Coronado itself, the hotel and the history of the island and everything was spectacular. And that's also where I turned in my rental car because it was like parking in San Diego is like $70 a night.
Oh, geez.
You know, plus the cost of the rental car. And I'm like, yeah, I think I'll save and just take a few Ubers and so forth.
Now, we saw you last week piped in via remote
Yeah.
from Tallahassee, and everything went well. It's your daughter's senior year already.
Senior year,
That's
I can't believe it.
amazing. That's
Can't
crazy.
believe it. I think she's leaning towards a master's degree. We just have to see
Okay.
what
Okay.
we're going to do. There's certain programs for her to go through with her college, which is her college is fashion design and also retail entrepreneurship. So it's part of the entrepreneurial college. Some of them are remote and some are in person. I'd love for her to come by and be remote, so I'm not paying rent or helping out with rent every month.
Yeah.
But the ones that are
I
the
feel
best
your
ones,
pain.
the ones that are the best ones are, you know, in person, like like a master's
like
in marketing,
everything in life.
a
You know, as much as
master's
people
in
are gravitating
business,
to remote
you know.
classes and AI, this and I say there's nothing better than just having that human
Like
interaction.
I'd love to save Joe Beja money, but I was never one for the internet classes started when I was in college, and I just didn't get it was tough for me to learn
my daughter
on my own.
My daughter didn't tell me until like the start of the semester that 4 of her 6 classes this semester are online virtual. Only 2 are in person, and they're only on Tuesday and Thursday. She's got the life of Riley. She says, "Oh, those online classes, you can do them anytime. They put the work on there, and you do them at your own pace." So she has no classes on Mondays or Fridays, and then she takes because the Tuesdays really exhaust her. She also has no classes on Wednesday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, no classes. 5 days out of 7, no classes. She's living on the penthouse floor of this thing that has like the health club facility is better than any kind of LA Fitness. A rooftop like infinity pool. She sent me a picture of herself just tanning the other day. I was like, "Come on, how did I get roped into this?"
I know. One of my fraternity roommate, my college roommate who was in my fraternity, his son is an engineering student at Arizona State.
Nice.
And he sent us the picture of the
Arizona
apartment.
State,
and Arizona State's a party school too. It's a fun school. But he sends me his thing. He goes, "Hey, this is the pool at my son's apartment complex." And I zoomed in. I'm like, "Is that a lazy river?" He goes, "Yeah."
Oh my God.
And I'm like, "You got to be kidding me. They have a lazy river at the
get
apartment
outta
complex."
I lived in an off-campus. It was like a house that had 6 bedrooms, and look, we were all paying. It was dirt cheap back then. This is outside of Boston, but the hot water heater and the heat in the wintertime would only work once out of every 2 days. And you'd have to fight the roaches for the the cereal in the morning. I was like, these kids, they have it made.
They have it made. I thought we had it made going to college in Vegas to be like, you'd be up studying all night and go, "Hey, you want to go for a $1.99 breakfast at 3 a.m. study break?" Anybody, you call.
As long as you stay away from the blackjack tables.
You ask your roommates or you call on the house phones and say, "Hey, you guys up? Anybody up? Anyone want to go for breakfast? Yeah, meet us at the Rio or something like that."
That would be dangerous.
For $1.99 breakfast or something.
You're a gambler. Joe is not presenting himself.
But I'm very glad that I didn't go to school in Vegas or New Orleans, because I don't think I would have. Never mind gotten a degree. I don't think I would have survived.
But see, we had fun. I still talk to the guys and stuff. We have a group chat that was going crazy yesterday with the Micah Parsons trade, because some of them are Cowboys fans and 2 guys are Packers fans. So, but we used to talk about like things like, on Thursday we're going to this Irish pub called O'Shea's on the Strip because it's 50-cent beer. And then for betting, we used to go. It's now closed. They broke it. They tore it down. The Gold Coast.
Okay, I remember.
Which is at the corner right there by the Flamingo. And one of my fraternity brothers worked in the sports book there, and they used to give out like $1 drink tickets if you bet like $5 or whatever.
There you go.
And then I had another fraternity brother that worked at Kinko's, and he learned how to make the graphics for the $1 coupon. So like a whole semester, we drank for free. And like finally someone in the sports book caught on and said, "Why are these fraternity guys here every Friday night drinking for free?"
That is higher education right there. Learning to the ingenuity. I'm not going to call it gaming the system, but they can afford a future. Let me ask you, because it is Labor Day weekend, and we appreciate all the hard work that everybody in the hospitality business does. But what is either the strangest or worst job that you've ever held, either inside the hospitality biz or anything?
I talked about when I and my brother-in-law do garage doors. Defo talked about working at a junkyard.
Oh wow!
Mayo worked at a deli and cut his finger off.
Sliced the tip of my thumb off.
Oh wow! I've always managed jobs in hospitality, but I've had certain jobs or shifts that were the worst. Like I remember being right out of school and being in charge of getting my degree in hospitality and going to work for Four Seasons hotels. And I thought it was fantastic.
And I get there, shift
and I get there, and they said, "You're in charge of the dishwashers and the pot washers." And I'm like, "All right, I got my degree. Let me start." But the worst part about that is one year they said, "We want to put together. We want to see if we want to hire night cleaners from an agency or if we want to do it in-house. So we need you to spend a month
doing numbers
on the graveyard shift.
Well, you had actually do it.
Oh, that just killed my body. I mean, going in at 10 o'clock and greeting the guys that were scrubbing the ovens and the floors and clocking how many hours it took to clean this kitchen versus that kitchen and how many people, and then putting it all together for your boss. Back in the day when computers were like the computers were the size of a I mean, it was that to me was a pain just because of how it threw off my body with the body clock
all
and stuff.
those that's
makes
foundation of leading up to something bigger and better, and at least that's the American dream, and
it's true.
Here we are. And so let's get back to Gulfstream. Last week, thank you so much. That the Taste of Havana event was great. All those roast pigs and the Chef Jason prepared 3 of them, and I think we probably consumed all 3, right? It was some great lechon. I mean, that was a huge hit. The croquetas were excellent. The desserts, as usual, the rice pudding and the flan. The flan was excellent. So I don't know what kind of feedback you got, but
our rice pudding is one of the best. It really is.
And then, of course, the full array of the rum drinks and everything. By the time I got through all the different rum drinks, I had to kind of take a moment, take an hour. Somehow I was the driver, but I did kind of, recover.
Well, you're there for hours.
Yeah,
well, I heard great things. Shout out to I heard Papa's Pilar did a great cocktail, which we did the Hemingway cocktail, which is with their bottle. And actually, for our casino players, we have a promotion going on Sunday where they're giving away a bottle. So the casino is sending out flyers to people to come in and pick up their free bottle of Papa's Pilar.
And the one that had the fountain going was
Diplomatico.
That's the other one I was
going to mention.
That was very, very, that was good stuff.
I heard they did great. I saw the video. It looked fantastic.
Yes, I took some video and posted. But it was a really good event, well attended as usual, right?
340.
And it was pouring rain at the start, but that didn't keep people away. And it's inside on the 3rd floor. And you've got another one coming up later
September 20th.
Right?
We'll be doing bourbon and barbecue.
Right.
Chef is working on the menu. I should have that by next week. I've already been reaching out to the bourbons, so they'll be all heavy hitters. It's all
that one I'm making Val drive, or I will Uber because I
highly recommend
to dip heavily into those bourbons. That's a great event. Yeah. Ken, the professor, is going to come on out that day. No drinking for Shirley. I guess she'll stay away, but it's going to be. That's going to be a lot of fun. So.
Yeah, it'll be great. And like I said, all the heavy hitters, Woodford Reserve will be there, Old Forester, Jack Daniels, which I know is a mash. I get it. But still, they're all part of the one big family. So I gave them 3 tables, 3 different spirits. Angel's Envy will be there.
You have it's all the Oceans, the one Jefferson's. Yeah.
Jefferson's will be there. I mean,
that's fine stuff. Yeah. Still involved with the Widow Jane people from Brooklyn? Are they?
No, not with Widow Jane for this time around.
Okay.
But
it's all good.
There might be some surprises.
Okay, because there's there are no wrong answers when it comes to the brown liquors. It's all good stuff. So
I like that they present you the actual that you can drink it straight, or there's always cocktails that are very interesting. I'm not a huge drinker like that.
And to be fully transparent, one of the things we like to do to help us control our costs and manage our inventory so we don't have cash sitting on shelves for inventory is, if a particular bourbon doesn't exist or didn't want to have available or so forth, if I have a random 2 or 3 bottles like a Widow Jane 10-year, we usually put out one of our bartenders or our cocktail server at a sampling table and say, you want to sample these particular bourbons neat, we'll let you sample them neat. And that's kind of a hodgepodge of a table, but it helps kind of clear off my shelves. It gives guests an opportunity to try random bottles.
And you know what I found when you sample some of those great bourbons and whiskeys? After the 5th one, I can't tell you the difference between anything.
It's like I was looking at. I asked Debbie, my director of hospitality. It's my right hand. And I said to her, she goes, "Oh, here's the inventory of the bourbon, so we can know who to invite and what we're looking at." And I realized, I said, "Oh, this is the warehouse." I said, "What's sitting on the 3rd floor shelves?" I said, "Because I don't see Rabbit Hole. I don't see the Jeffersons here. I don't see." And she goes, "Oh, yeah, I have to give you that." And I said, "Okay, yeah, that'll determine who else we add to it." But there's, the Jeffersons, the Rabbit Hole.
It's a great lineup. And the food, of course,
Widow Jane.
Jason does a great job with all the different, the barbecue items, the pork. I assume you'll have some turkey or chicken and beef and all
Ribs
that
or
stuff.
something of that
And
kind.
so never too early to get your tickets,
Yeah.
especially the VIP tickets.
Yep.
How do they do that, Joe?
Again, just go to our website onto the www.gulfstreampark.com. Click on the event. It'll take you right to the page where we have our VIP tickets going for $85. That'll get you in at 12 noon. Some of the bourbons will be featuring either like a 10-year or a special release during the first hour. Like actually, we just secured Whistle Pig. Will be there as well. So Whistle Pig will be bringing in some nice limited edition bottles for the first hour, and then we'll be doing a piggyback cocktail, pun intended, a piggyback cocktail
on purpose.
from 1 to 4, and then but it's great. And then the GA tickets are $60, and that's from 1 to 4.
That's a great deal. $60 for all day.
So usually what we do is we sell about 100 VIP, and then we do 250 of the GA, and then we'll sell another 20 or so at the door.
It's going to be a sellout. It's also on a Saturday. College football games will be
There's
going.
TVs, there's
all
stuff
kinds of great
around.
racing here at Gulfstream and throughout the country. Go online now, get your tickets. Gulfstreampark.com/events, and buy your tickets today. You want to take the last break and we'll do a contest
need
after
a
that?
contest.
We know we need to do a contest.
Just making
It's
sure.
a Labor Day theme. And before we do Tropical Acres, I got to put out the good word because they still have their Twin Lobster special going throughout the fall up until almost Thanksgiving time. 2 freshly steamed New England lobsters, $39 with a salad and a side dish.
Deal.
You can't beat that deal. Tropical Acres, been in business 76 years, finest in value and hospitality.
Well, I like that you can do happy hour all the way through Friday.
Yeah, Monday
Not
through
everyone
Friday,
does that, which is
4:30 to 6:30 in the bar, and they have half-price drinks on everything in the house, including the Belvedere martinis, which is my favorite. Again, 2500 Griffin Road. They're open every day but Sunday. Call now for a reservation, 954-989-2500 Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. All right, let's take the third and final break. Then we will do a contest. We'll see if Joe knows it. And we'll be back after this. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, upscale food in a down-home setting, the chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. Looking for a real New York slice? Check out Peter's Pizzeria, your neighborhood pizza shop. With 2 locations, 1166 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach and 897 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca Raton. Slices, whole pies, specialty pizzas, heroes, rice balls, salads, pastas, and Mama's homemade desserts. It's New York flavor, Florida made. Originally from Long Island, Peter brings passion and pride to his pizzas. No matter where you're from, you'll feel right at home. Open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner with delivery and takeout. Place your order today at mypeters.com. When people ask me about the best restaurants in South Florida, Casa D'Angelo is always at the top of my list. First-class dining, top-flight service, elegant atmosphere, and chef-founder Angelo Ilia is legendary. The flagship in Fort Lauderdale has been serving the finest Italian cuisine since 1997, with other locations in Boca Raton and Aventura. As Angelo himself says, they have an unwavering commitment to unparalleled quality with meticulous attention to details. It's so good with house-made pastas, pristine seafood, unique meats like elk chops and bison, and seasonal specialties including fragrant fresh truffles from Italy. All locations open 7 days for dinner. Reservations recommended for a special occasion or any occasion. Casa de Angelo. Tell them Mike Mayo sent you. Hey, it's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk and Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for Sunday brunch, and Taco Tuesdays, including their new birria tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, it's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-faced smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. Tell them Mike Mayo, the Lunchbox, sent you. All right, we're back on the Lunchbox with Joe Beja. We know we got to do a contest. First, I got to sing the praises of that. We never introduced the food this week. We had
I did beautiful. On the chat. I did.
You did on the chat. We had the penne alla vodka with some grilled chicken. We've got a Reuben sandwich. We're concluding the National Sandwich Month. Enjoy every sandwich is my tagline. And there you go. We got a Reuben today, and that's in honor of my late dad. It would have been his 93rd birthday today.
Mazel tov.
Happy heavenly birthday to Brooklyn Bobby Mayo. He loved corned beef, and he also loved tip tongue sandwiches at the Mill Basin Deli. And then we've got a flatbread. So thank you, Joe, as usual, for all the hospitality here. It is time for the Lunchbox Gulfstream 10 Palms Sunday Brunch giveaway. I'm not going to have the same mess as last week where it ended up being different answers. What does L&B stand for in L&B Stimoni Gardens? We still don't have the definitive answer. It could be Ludovico and Barbati, which is the founder's last name, or Ludovico and Babe, which was his horse.
We're calling the restaurant, and the restaurant was like, "Why do you?"
I called the restaurant. They called the restaurant during the show. They got the answer Babe. I called the restaurant on Monday, and I got the answer of Barbati. So we had to give one to each, and that was all right. But had a couple of other contest winners that. Again, if you win the contest, redeem within 90 days or the prizes lapse. We don't want anybody to do that. We've got a couple of contest winners coming in this week. And I think actually the Newbergs, Lori Newberg and Eric are going to come in. So
that's great.
Always good. All right. So this week, you're going to email the answer with the restaurant trivia questions along with the horse selection for this week's Gulfstream Saturday contest race, which is going to be the 10th race. It's a handicap race scheduled for 1 mile and 16th on the main track, numbers 1 through 8, 8-horse field, race 10. You can see the entries on the post that I put on Let's Eat in a couple of hours. And then, again, the restaurant, horse number 1 through 8 for the 10th race. And the tiebreaker this week, drum roll, please. University of Miami, Notre Dame game, Sunday night, 7:30 p.m. We want the winner, the winning margin, and the total number of points. Let's say UM by 6 with the total number of 48 points. I don't know. You think it's going to be high scoring, low scoring? What do you think of this game, Joe?
High scoring.
I don't know what to expect. Like,
who's going to win?
I would pick Notre Dame, but my maitre d' is a huge Charles is a huge University of Miami fan, and he is telling me, oh, Notre Dame hasn't won in Miami in like 20-something years or whatever. And I look at him, I said, I understand that, but that means they're due.
As much as right, but as much as I hate Cristobal, he usually chokes later in the year, and I think the combination of the humidity and the heat
That's
Notre
my
Dame
thing.
having a
He's a redshirt freshman and he's never played.
I think
that scares the crap out of me.
those two factors. I actually like
I
the
lean
Hurricanes
Miami
to
in.
win this game.
I don't know what my problem with it's going to be high scoring or low scoring is I don't know what we're going to get out of Carson Beck. I know Canes fans have forgotten last year because that's the thing. It's college football. People aren't last year. He was actually average. Like he was on Georgia and they won a lot of games. His stats outside of one game were very average. So, and that was with Georgia's talent. I know Miami loves their talent. It's not Georgia's talent. So I don't know what Carson Beck's going to be, but again, you can't tell me what they're facing in South Bend is what UM works out in every single day.
So,
and even at night here, it's freaking brutal. So
it's
that's
steamy.
gotta be strong. Again, like we know back in the day, the only time the Dolphins ever really beat the Bills was when they played early September because Buffalo, New York is very different than South Florida, even in the 90s. So to me, that gives the Canes that edge that I
we
didn't
shall
think
see.
they had.
You two can have an opinion in the contest. And again, let's get to the restaurant component.
Let's do it.
The only takeaway I want to remind everybody is that, as my maitre d' reminded me, it's time to move money from your bank account to your Hard Rock Bet app, so you're ready for the weekend.
And how about those USF Bulls last night?
Yeah, that was a fun game.
Look,
the professor got hammered, so I'm sorry, Ken. But it was fun to watch.
How could you go against?
Well, because he did the actual handicapping stuff, and I went with my heart.
See what
my
happens
mom
when you
went
try to
there.
figure it out?
Yeah.
Nobody knows nothing. All right. For this week's restaurant, we celebrate Labor Day and thank restaurant and hospitality workers everywhere for their tireless work.
Yes.
All right. Ready for the clue? I
go.
think you're going to like this one. No, you're going to hate this one. And again, we're going to start with clue number 1 is the Mayo obtuse clue. George Meany, Jimmy Hoffa, and Samuel Gompers have never eaten at this Wilton Manors restaurant, which recently celebrated its 4th anniversary. But Lunchbox hosts Mayo and Lubie are big fans and paid a visit this past week. So it's not just a restaurant quiz; it's actually kind of a Lunchbox news.
You
quiz.
get help if you watch our show.
George Meany, Jimmy Hoffa, and Samuel Gompers. I don't know if those names mean anything to anybody. I love just saying Samuel Gompers. Eugene V. Debs. I almost used Eugene V. Debs. Or Mother Jones was another
yes, they're big in
labor
this world. Yes.
person. All right, number 2,
Good
the
job.
restaurant is not named for organized labor, but rather the happy culinary couple that run it, Chef Christy and sommelier Roberto, and their beautiful melding of global flavors and wines. Number 3, do you know it?
Yes.
Okay, good.
It was a Samuel Gompers clue that did it. I'm kidding.
It said we were there 3 days ago. Clue that
Nobody expected the Samuel Gompers
yeah.
clue. Number 3, this restaurant's signature dishes include a cider brined pork chop and porcini campanella pasta. We had the pork chop the other day on the lunchbox. All right, so the restaurant name, the winner of the 10th race at Gulfstream, numbers 1 through 8, and the winner of the Notre Dame Miami game with the winning margin and point total to Mike Mayo Eats at gmail.com by noon tomorrow, Saturday, August 30th. It's going to be a big weekend of college football. I hope everybody enjoys it. You doing anything for the weekend? You're working.
I'm here. I am working. I'll be home in time for the night games.
Nice.
And I'll have the Saturday games on in my office.
Nice.
One of the perks of having a big screen TV.
I was going to say, I think you have a TV in your office. Thank goodness. So you'll be good.
And Lubie, you're just going to be home with the wife?
I'll be me. We're doing our 3D 4K sonogram thing Saturday.
Okay.
I was able to make the appointment at 12. So it's right in the middle of the Texas Ohio State game, but the Florida State Alabama game, I'll be home by then.
You might have a different kind of labor weekend.
God willing, no. We still have 2 months. Stay away. Luca, stay there.
Couple of months
stay there.
away.
You got 2 months there, bud.
And me, I will be hopefully wearing a sweater and shivering a little bit up in the mountains of Asheville, North Carolina. Val and I are getting away tonight.
Beautiful.
And we're going to take an extended weekend. So we're going to have a couple of encore editions of the Lunchbox Monday and Tuesday. We'll be back with a live show from Wicked Cheesesteaks on Wednesday. But until then, everybody have a safe and enjoyable holiday weekend. If you are gambling on college football, remember to bet with your head, not over it.
There you go.
That's it, everybody. Have a great weekend. Enjoy every sandwich.